It is an unfortunate fact that we can secure peace only by preparing for war. Lord of the Mysteries Volume 5 isn't just another step in Klein's journey. It's the brutal symphony of consequences, betrayals, and the terrifying truth of what it means to wield power in this world. Now, as always, spoilers all the way up to the end of Volume 5, so if you haven't finished Volume 5, please click off the video now, because we're going to be delving into a lot of the most devastating and cathartic arcs in the entire series. Volume 5 is about collapse. Klein doesn't start off this volume as the confident fool that we've watched him grow into. Instead, he's shattered and broken because he starts off this volume with the likely understanding that everyone he knew from Earth is dead, and it's very, very unlikely that he'll be ever able to return home. And even if he did, there'd be no one waiting for him. Volume 5, Red Priest. The very existence of the Red Priest means the coming of war. And Medici, Sauron, and Einhorn all came back at the end of Volume 4. So we know what's coming. This is where war, the sacrifices of war in particular, and the burden that come with that are shown abundantly. Cuttlefish has never exactly hidden his larger societal comments in Lord of the Mysteries. He always talks abundantly about how the rich profit on the backs of the poor while doing the bare minimum to keep them from revolting, and how war is a decision made by the elites for their own personal ambitions at the cost that is borne by the Commonwealth. A war that has been set up for so long, since chapter 4 of the web novel, when the Grain Act was first introduced. The title I gave this video, Divine Vengeance, isn't just a catchy phrase. It's the heartbeat of the entire novel. Klein's vengeance isn't impulsive, it's calculated, it's patient, and it mirrors the very world that he lives in, where gods and angels settle debts not in days, not in weeks, but in decades. The antagonists here, the cults, the organizations, hell, even the deities, all believe they can manipulate fate, but Volume 5 shows us that fate has its own teeth. Every betrayal, every scheme, every manipulation, Klein begins to turn them back on his enemies. It's vengeance that feels not personal, but cosmic. Klein talking to himself, asking himself if this is a future he can accept, where George III becomes king by sacrificing so many of his own people, and him coming to the inevitable conclusion that no, this isn't a future he can accept, is so cathartic, because Klein reminds us over and over, not only with his words, but with his actions, that Klein isn't a hero, but if there's one thing Klein Moretti or Joe Mingru will not stand for, it is the sacrifice of the innocent. By now, Klein isn't just a character reacting to the world, he's beginning to embody the very idea of divine retribution. When you read Volume 5 carefully, you notice a shift. Klein stops being a fugitive and starts becoming a judge. He still doubts, he's still careful, he's still fearful, and he calculates everything. But the way he punishes his enemies is inevitable. Like a person who was pushed right to the edge and inevitably decides, you know what, fuck it, no more. I don't care what happens. I can't let them get away with this anymore. That's why, to me, Volume 5 is the point where Klein stops feeling like a man that's in over his head and starts feeling like something much more terrifying. Like he's not a man trying to convince the world he's a god. He's a god showing the world his power and influence. This isn't Klein Moretti trying to convince everyone that he is the fool, this all-knowing, omnipotent, omniscient being, but it is an omniscient, omnipotent being telling everyone, hey, I'm fucking back. George III, the king of Lone, willing to sacrifice tens of thousands of his own people, those that he kidnapped in order to become a god. He wasn't a man forsaking his humanity for godhood. He was never a man in the first place. Only a monster could ever decide that it's okay to sacrifice the very people he was charged with taking care of. He is the king of Lone, for God's sake. But Klein, someone who's not even from this world, is the one who ends up being tasked to take care of the people of Lone. And this is something that would be so foreign to George. The reason George III dies, it would be an unbelievably foreign concept to him. George would never be able to understand the reason he died is the common person he was willing to kill. The beggar from the East Borough, the laundry maid with nothing to her name. the faceless from Volume 2, to someone like George, to people at his level. Hell, even the level of Klein as a saint, people like these, people like the faceless, should be bugs on the ground. Totally no consideration should be paid to them. But here's the thing, Klein isn't like that, and vengeance isn't like that. Volume 5 makes it inevitably clear that Klein's divine vengeance isn't free. Every choice he makes, the enemies he punishes, costs him something. His humanity, the distance from the people he loves. And that's the genius of Cuttlefish's writing. He doesn't give us a power fantasy where the hero just walks away and smiling. He gives us a man who earns every victory in blood, paranoia, sacrifice. And that's when I get to the ending of Volume 5, when Klein gets home, away from Zaratul, after finally stopping the ascension of George III. And I thought, man, that was such a good fight. But man, it felt like there was like one final twist that was missing. Klein just got away with it so easily. And that's when motherfucking Amon shows up with his dumbass monocle. And you say, you shouldn't leave your marionettes lying around. It makes it really easy to track you. What do you mean? Oh my god. By the time you finish this volume, you don't just admire Klein, you start to fear him. You're like, holy shit, this is a man that's fighting angels when he's only a saint, and he's pulling angels out of thin fucking air to help him. And Amon makes you shit your pants. Klein being fucking dog walked after fighting off angels and saints like it was Tuesday tells you that there's still levels to this shit. Volume 5 is vengeance made narrative. Not quick, not cheap, not without scars, but relentless. And when you close this volume, you start to realize that Klein isn't just a part of the Lord of the Mysteries world anymore. He's one of the people who's beginning to shape it. This isn't just another volume. To me, it's like a turning point where Klein becomes not just a player, but a divine force in it. So, what do you think of Volume 5? Did Klein's slow, terrifying vengeance feel real to you? Or did it leave you shaking at what he's becoming? Comment below with your favorite moments from this volume, and let me know if you think Klein is still in control of his fate, or if fate is controlling him. Until then, as always, stay mysterious.